we're still discussing some or sharing with you some clinical examples of those patients presenting with headache. So the first patient is a female, 58 years old. Her headache pattern is so common that the doctor thinks we can see this kind of patient every day. For those of us who live in cities with much pollution or in the countryside full of pollen and near farmland sprayed with many chemicals, our nose and sinuses are always irritated by these factors. Many patients suffer from chronic sinus problems, and some are not even aware of this fact. The above patient came to the doctor with frontal headache on the forehead from hairline down to nearly half the face, including the area of the maxillary sinus. She had pain on both temples extending to the ears, but the eyes did not hurt. It was a dull, heavy headache. She woke up with this headache every morning and it made her dull and irritable. She was never a morning person because of these headaches. Painkillers did not help and she had no appetite in the mornings. She started feeling better during the day and was well around the noon. The headache would be worse if she stayed in bed longer, and then it also took longer to improve. The patient was pale with a puffy appearance of the face, and she never smiled. Her typical response to any question was a no first, and then she would consider it. It was difficult to diagnose the cause of her headache as she did not have any stomach problems or large intestine symptoms. The headache occupied a large area of the face, and she claimed she had no nose or sinus problems either. Her teeth were okay too. She was given some local and distal points, but she continued to have daily headaches and her bad mood persisted, not making it easier for both the doctor and her. Okay. The doctor noticed earlier that she had a habit of sniffing very often. This was more noticeable in mornings and not too bad in their evening sessions. The doctor preferred to see her in the evenings when her headaches were better. She once was asked about it and she said that she did not sniff. When all other possibilities of diagnosis failed, the doctor decided to pursue the point about the sniff. Even though she had no history of nose and sinus problems, she had pain in the areas around both frontal and maxillary sinuses. Moreover, she had a damp pain on the face, as dampness settles on the head and face when in bed and drains downwards when upright. It is possible that her sinuses were affected by chronic damp stagnation. The treatment given was based on the findings or the following points. The doctor used local points, bladder 2, stomach 3, given in the direction of LI20, the extra point number 2 or the Taiyang, and LI4 was also added, and then symptomatic points for headache, gallbladder 20, and stomach 40 for circulating dampness. Energy balancing points were also added. That's bladder 13, the backshoe point of the lung to improve lung function, and LI6, the loop connecting point of the lung, which tonifies the yang and sedates the yin. And the patient was asked to avoid refined sweets and fatty milk products. She had 14 sessions in all. The first week, she was treated 4 times. The second week, it was 3 times, and so on. She was also given some heart yang tonification later. That's bladder 15 and SI7. The doctor thought or argued that the lung could use some help from its neighbor. She first admitted to feeling better only after 2 weeks of treatment. But the patient knew she was better. If not, she would not have continued to come. And she had stopped sniffing. When the doctor commented on it, she told that she had never sniffed. May denial tong pasyenteng to. Okay. Here we have another clinical example, still a female. She's 78 years old. This patient was the first among the many patients of this doctor in his practice in Birmingham. She was a very bad case, had a very bad case of rheumatoid arthritis and was wheelchair bound. She was on a small but regular dose of prednisolone, less than 5 milligrams daily for over 2 years. She depended on her elderly husband to bring her for treatment. Most of her joints were quite stiff with little mobility, but she was cheerful with a red face and chatted easily. The muscles on her arms or legs were quite atrophied, and she had little movement in her fingers. Okay. The problem she came with was that her temporomandibular joints were very tense, and she could hardly open her mouth to chew. While eating her food, she experienced severe pain in both jaws and also in her head. This pain could last for days, thus making it impossible to eat. The headaches occurred in both sides of her head, one side more than the other, on the temples and the parietal areas. When examined, she had much tenderness in these areas. She had had acupuncture before at the hospital pain clinic, which had involved treating mainly the local points of pain. She had felt no improvement and had decided to try private treatment, even though she could ill afford it. She was examined thoroughly. The only marked imbalance that the doctor could notice was the difference between her upper and lower body. Her face was red and her head was hot. She talked a lot and was in a good mood. Her lower body was very cold. Her ankles had cold edema and her skin was very thin. On the whole, the doctor saw that all her blood and energy was in the upper body, leaving the lower part very deficient and cold. All the treatment she had had previously concentrated on the part of her body that had the heat and energy. So this time the doctor decided to concentrate on the part which needed the heat and energy, thinking that if the blood and energy could flow to the legs, then they had to come from the upper body, thus reducing heat and energy there. Okay. So for the treatment given, uh, the following points were used. Kidney 3, which is the earth point of the kidney, and the grandmother point, which tonifies the young. Bladder 58, the Luo connecting point, which tonifies yang and sedates yin. Stomach 40, the symptomatic point for dampness. Kidney 1, to warm the feet. Only moxa was used here. It's very painful when needled. Ren 12, 17, and 24 to ascend the yin to the upper body. And lung 7, the confluent point of Ren channel to increase general yin. And a few tender points on the head. These areas change each time. So, kailangang ipalpate para makita kung saan yung mga tender points. Okay? And finally, gallbladder 20, the symptomatic point for headache. Initially, she was treated twice a week. Soon, treatment was increased at the interval between sessions, and the doctors saw her once in 1 or 2 months. She was fine between treatments and could chew her food without pain. But they could not stop the treatment, so she was treated for over 5 years until she recently passed away after a stroke. As you can see, every headache had a story behind it. If we take care to listen and put two and two together, we can diagnose the cause easily, then proceed to correct the imbalance. When the diagnosis is not clear, one cannot treat with local, distal, and symptomatic points only for a few times until we are better able to understand the imbalance.